So we just saw the song Snips recorded live, and as I said, there's an interview coming up, and the album title is a tongue breaker. Everything has been done by now, so now everything is possible, like the concerts in Israel. So here's Trace Kotick at H1 Television Studios in Hanover. Enjoy.
So I was raised in Tel Aviv when I was a child, and then we moved to a place called Mishmeret, which is in the Hasharon, which is a province in Israel. And it's really green and peaceful, and that's where I was raised ever since. And well, the album, it's full of songs that I gathered throughout the years, filled with like broken-hearted and like not very specific thoughts, because I'm a bit of a messy guy.
Okay.
And well, most of the stuff that I'm talking about in the album are probably like very personal stories that happened to me, and my thoughts beyond the, like, even if it's not real specifically on them, but things that reflect on other things and such. It's a bit of a maximalistic piece. It has way too many channels in the process, and I produced it myself. I've learned tons throughout the process, which now I know all the things that I should do and shouldn't do. It's a folk, rock, alternative, indie, vibey. I'm trying to be a bit energetic. I want people to feel optimistic from my songs. I want them to have the energy to last the week, the year, the decade, whatever. In my case, it's like sort of the way that I'm living, because I turned my parents' old house into a studio, and I'm sleeping in the live room, and they have a control room. And I think that what happened in the Israeli industry is the streaming is more the part that changed everything, because let's say 2013 there wasn't streaming in Israel. We used YouTube, and Facebook was only a social platform, and everybody was so thirsty for music, and the indie rock and indie folk kind of resurrected from since like 2007 till 2013, I think. And then the streaming came out, and then we were washed with all this kind of new music every week. There's like 1 million releases every week. It's so much. Every time I'm coming back home from a tour, it's just, I don't want to come back. I just want to keep on doing it, because in my perspective, that's what I should be doing. Because in Israel, it's so incredibly hard to do it on a daily basis, and you can't actually do it on a daily basis. I mean, you can do it if you have different variations of this profession. If you have all those kind of gigs, then you can do it on a daily basis. But if you want to do your own stuff, you can't do it in one place. You have to travel. You have to share it with whoever who might listen. And fortunately, I haven't had any like bad feedback. I mean, I got some, like sometime I'm a bit too pushy or shouty, like on stage, which is something that I'm working on constantly, you know, being dynamic and all. But performing and do it in it wherever it's that's the dream. That's the proper way of doing music nowadays, and that's like, to tell you the secret, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not making that much money out of it, but if I'll keep on doing it and I'll do it on a regular basis, then maybe eventually I'll make a honest and more than decent living, hopefully.
Yeah.
Come back.
But I have one funny question right now.
Yeah.
That's the last question for today, actually.
Okay.
Imagine somebody comes up to you
Yeah.
and gives you a lot of money and says, okay, you get that money and you try to use the money to make a film about Trace Kotick based on the album. So
Okay.
it's like a transfer from the music, from the art of music to the art of film. And you could pick what kind of film it would be. You can pick if it's going to be a documentary, if it's going to be like a cartoon, or if somebody's going to play you or something. So, and who the director is. So spontaneously, if you look to your album, if you listen to your album, what's your first thought?
What kind of film I want to
Yeah,
base
the
on the
album,
album? The thing is that my album is very vast. It's not like one genre specific. I want it to be, if it was a film, I want it to be a comedy, but also a drama, and also like an action, like thriller. Something that will pull all the emotions and feelings that I intend to pull in the album. It would be like really cool if Wes Anderson did the direction, but
I knew I had it in my head. I knew he was going to say that.
well,
I don't know.
he has the best aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's like everything he films, it's so incredibly beautiful, and well, I intend to do beautiful music, or that's my intention right now. Maybe sometime in the future I want to make a whole lot of noise and things that are a bit more, I don't know, abstract, ambient.
I'm just, it's so funny that I had him in mind, and I was just gonna wait what you said. Didn't want to influence you.